Hey, it's Tim and Shana from Beastanetics, and we're crawling today. We're going to show you a bunch of different crawls, one of the staple moves of Beastanetics, a number of different varieties, also a very important move not only for general fitness but just for the activities of daily living. And if you got a young kid, make sure they crawl. You don't want to put them in a stroller. You're harming their future. So guys, we're gonna start with something that we call a panther crawl, but it's a low crawl where your torso is parallel to the ground and so are the shins, and Shauna's gonna move in opposition. So you'll see hands, opposite foot, deep bend in the knees, and then when she gets to the end of the space, she puts it in reverse, which for most people is a lot tougher. The core is engaged. You're working triceps, shoulders, working the legs, and of course working the core. And it can be done at whatever pace you feel is appropriate on that particular day. As with the rest of the beasts, our work sets are either 30, 45, or a minute. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or a minute. So that's a low crawl going forward and reverse. Next up, Shauna's going to come into a plank. And now there is less contribution from the legs, and this is much more focused on the upper body. She's still going to work in opposition, hand, opposite foot. That's called contralateral. Ipsilateral would be same side, hand and foot. Much tougher. So you can see the pace on this crawl is quite a bit slower. But if you, if you move your hands and feet quickly, you can go a little bit faster. And this one's going to challenge the upper body more and the core more. So that's your plank crawl, forward and reverse. So you got 4 options there. Then we're going to go lateral. So we'll start with the panther crawl. So it's the same setup. You're on palms and the balls of your feet, deep bend in the knees, but now you're sidestepping. So coordination's a little trickier for some people, and they tend to get twisted, and every so often you might want to take a glance to the side to make sure you're going in a straight line. So that was your panther crawl. Shana was moving to her right, and now she is moving to her left. And then we're going to do the same thing with our plank crawl, and we'll take that laterally. Now these are also great cardiovascular moves, by the way. You can really drive your heart rate up. So again, hands, opposite foot, moving laterally. And then the same thing back to the start. And then we're going to show you one more. Now, we don't want you to think this is exhaustive. There are many other types of crawls, and you might create your own. But this just gives you some idea of the most fundamental crawls. So now we're face up. That's supine. And you probably remember this from when you were a kid. This is going to be the crab walk. Suppose we could call it a crab crawl. So the more you lift your hips, the more you have to engage the glutes. If you drop the hips, it's going to be a little bit less glute. Shauna's got her fingertips facing forward. Some folks like to turn their hands to the side or to the back. And this is a forward crab walk. And then she'll put it in reverse. Crab walk going back. And then very last option will be a lateral crab walk. So same starting position.
Come towards you.
No, you're going to face me and you're going to move sideways. So yeah, there you go. Awesome. That's it. Yep. So now we're sidestepping again. So when we sidestep, when we take a foot away from the midline, that's abduction, and when we bring a foot towards the midline, that's adduction, AD. This is another one where it's pretty easy to get a little twisted. And here we're taking it back. Excellent. Great. So there's a bunch of options for your crawls, all super effective. Really great at building strength and endurance and improving your cardiovascular conditioning. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you soon.